Nadine, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to ask you about the initiatives that are being taken by SeeHer now around COVID. It's a special time for all of us, but what are the issues facing women and what are you trying to address?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for having me. And I think that unfortunately, and this has been shown in history time and time again, women tend to take the brunt of crisis like this and other marginalized groups. The UN recently put out stats that said if we're not careful, women will go back 25 years. So the limited success that we've seen around gender equality will be gone. And the converse of that is, yet we know that when women are empowered, societies flourish. And when societies flourish, economies flourish, which is good not only for societies, but for businesses. So it's really important that we continue to push forward. And the role that SeeHer plays is media and society are entwined. We know that society is reflected in media, and media drives societal changes in culture. So we also know through research that strong female characters inspire women to be more ambitious, more assertive, and for some women, even to leave abusive relationships. So what we put out into the marketplace really has effect on these women and how they feel inspired and empowered. What we've tried to do over the last couple of months, as we've all struggled to figure out how to behave and provide meaning and impact and value in this crazy time, which continues to get crazier since the pandemic hit, is to give our marketers what they need. We're calling it the hashtag SeeHer Forward Marketing Essentials Toolkit. And in that toolkit, it's important. It's sort of an organizing framework moving forward of what marketers need to easily embed gender equality into their everyday marketing and media decision making. But it is specifically with an eye right now to right size whatever's going on. So the Getty SeeHer project that we're about to talk to is the newest edition, but we've also recently done and published a white paper with IRI about sales lift. We know there's a strong correlation between gender equality, positive scores in advertising and programming, and sales lift. So that's out there, and we've shared that with our marketers. And we've also published the white paper there. We have a programming report that we put out for our members to show the programs that have positive gender equality scores because we know that there's a strong correlation to sales lift. We want them to have that as they're negotiating into their what will be, whatever the upfronts will be right now, and into the quarters that were coming as they make very tough decisions about what they're keeping in their media plans and what they have to cut, as some categories have had to make very steep cuts, we know, over the last couple of months. And so we also know that production houses have been closed. So some of the new programming that we might have seen over the last couple of months and quarters to come will be limited. So we've included some of the reruns from prior reports so that the marketers have all the rankings in one place to make decisions from. So that's out there. And like we've always said in those cases, it's not about creating a premium marketplace for these kinds of programs. Really, gender equality programming should be table stakes. In the perfect world, all programming would be gender equal. We would show strong characters for both men and women. So that's out there. And we have a whole bunch of other things. So the newest of that is this amazing partnership that we started with Getty. Initially, it started at a restaurant, believe it or not, right before, and it's amazing to think that we were even sitting in a very small, crowded Manhattan restaurant, myself with Paige McKrensky and Katie Calhoun from Getty Images, and we were talking about how they need to become members of SeeHer. I had just gotten to the ANA, and that membership, which they quickly signed on to, became more of a partnership almost. We started a campaign, again, around SeeHer Forward, because we recognized that a lot of the images that were out there around what was happening with COVID was more around, there were more men that were being shown. Some of our top CMOs recognized the fact that even in a lot of the political governor briefings and the White House briefings, they were showing more men and Caucasian men than they were diversity and women in the pictures. So we set out to, through the partnership with Getty, create a campaign around "We See You, We Thank You," and we celebrated women on the front lines, which we know through much research and a lot of the articles that were out there, women made up the majority of the essential workers and the people that were getting hit the most, as well as some of the marginal groups. So we put that out there. And the next thing, which we talked about at that initial launch pre-COVID, was we knew that it was really important to put out a set of guidelines for the creators around stock imagery, around being more conscious to create gender equal and diverse female guidelines to, around imagery when they created. And also when advertising agencies and marketers pulled those images to create messaging, that they pulled the right kinds of images. What Getty, one of the insights that Getty had, and we worked with a wonderful woman in charge of creative insights at Getty named Tristan Norman. One of the insights they had was, while people might have searched for something, when they pulled the actual image they selected was less diverse than you would have thought. So there's a lot of work and opportunity to be done there. And that set us on the path of creating these guidelines.